Hello everybody. Today we are going to look at our second instructional video on the light cell energy frequency body of light. Today our topic is going to be on energy. What is our energy field? How does energy work? What has that got to do with anything anyway here on the planet? Well, energy is everywhere. We're made up of sound and light particles. We're made up of energy of light. We have within us an energy cell, a light cell energy body of light that provides sustenance through our light cell energy frequency body of light that refractors our own energy out. And from there, it circulates around into other fields of energy light. These other energy fields of light sometimes are not very bright. Sometimes they're focused more on people's thinking that they are going through their dark of night, as some would call it. But our energy fields of light circulate vast quantities of energy that surround us and our bodies of light with multiple dimensions of light. There's not just one field of light here on the planet, for instance. There are multiple fields of light. There are multiple dimensions. There are many seeds of thought here on the planet. Everything we create through our energy field comes directly from the thought mechanism on this planet. We are working with Gaia, Mother Earth, that's our planet here, and she is helping us to distinguish which field of light is lighter and brighter than other fields of light. When we start to seed our thoughts, in other words, to start to think, create ideas in our mind, in our mind's eye, our higher mind, our third eye mind, when we start to send out these thought waves, we're actually seeding thoughts of energy for other people and creatures of light to appear. When they do send out their own energy of light, their own light cell energy frequency body of light that's encapsulated here on the planet, we become evolved in higher light. So this fifth dimensional conscious awareness encapsulation in the light on the planet now is surrendering its higher light to everyone of higher light. It surrenders its light to beings of lesser light as well. However, they cannot incorporate that higher stream of knowledge or information just yet until their synapses in their brain stems, come online with the higher frequencies of light. All fifth dimensional awareness comes from our higher insight. It's encoded into the light cell energy frequency of body of light here on the planet, as well as everyone's light cell energy frequency body of light. It's a work in progress. So as we step up, each one of you, into higher and higher fields of light, you feel better. You resonate at higher streams of knowledge and understanding and light. And light work becomes very bright. It becomes, in other words, very understandable to beings of the light. We're all manufactured in light. That's our source code energy. That's our source code energy sphere of light. So our embodiment in the light is all around us. It envelops us. Our body of light is true to higher spirit. It gains access to you and every other viable source of light on the planet and beyond through this amazing vehicle of light. We have alternate visions of light. Sometimes people are in, as they call it, their dark of night. They're in deep, dark thoughts. So they, in essence, they bring their energy light down. Okay? They dampen it a bit. They veil it over. They cover it up a bit, so that they can go through certain experiences on this planet to enlighten them. So when they come in, they're of higher light. They drop down into this frequency of light on the planet and within their light cell energy frequency body of light. And they become a vision of their light, of what they wanted to produce here. And if they need to go through some shallow thinking times, then that's what they will do. So they will seed their thoughts into darker energies of light. These energies will produce the darker realms of time and will intertwine them in their own knowledge of different aspects of time that were not quite divine. So they haven't encoded just yet their higher mind. And this comes through the third eye, refracting higher light into the energy light cell frequency body of light. When we're working with these higher beings of light, they show us the dimensional frequency of their awareness in their light. So we're offshoots of that higher light. We can reproduce it through our higher insight. But if our higher insight is not plugged into the higher light, it's like we're cast adrift from the light. We're resourcing our light cell energy frequency body to a lower light, a lower dimensional frequency of light. Again, to have those experiences that they sought, because they wanted to understand the linear brain, the linear mind, the linear timeline here, the encapsulation of time and space, that energy within that spatial frequency of light. When other beings off planet, off world, in other dimensions of spirit light or of frequency light, energy light, however you prefer to refer to it as, when they come on board with your higher light, you generate a frequency of light that is exponentially higher. And when we entrain our brain, our higher mind, third eye, divine mind, to that higher frequency or sound or frequency light, we start to generate more light cell energy frequency bodies of light, or body of light. There's more energy at our disposal, in other words. We have more light cell refractoring energy than we did before. And as it comes in and clears our body of light, we begin to understand what's been happening to us here on the planet and elsewhere. We see, we feel, we understand, we get it about how light cell energy frequency bodies of light actually work on the planet and elsewhere, or beyond, as we like to say. Our specific bodies of light that surround our own aura are multiplications of higher light. So they're higher divinity codes of light. They're higher lines of time of light. They're higher frequencies of divine mind essence or spirit of light. When we begin to resound with these higher frequencies, we begin to create a core root essence within our bodies of light. We begin to understand that the process dictates the type of light that we get involved in or with. And if we want to be of the higher mind, we have to seed our thoughts to that generational mind, that generation's mind's eye, the third eye, the higher light mind, the area in the tissues of the brain where the higher seeds of light coagulate with your own, our own, my own. We all feed our own light depending on which energy comes from which light. So we can be offshoots of a higher light and not delineate any issues with problems of time whatsoever. And then there are those who come in with lower estimations of spirit light, and they have a more difficult time projecting their thoughts onto their divine energy line of time. So they get wrapped up or maybe kind of torn up inside because they don't understand how to work the frequency of light. And anytime you find someone, or even if this is referring to yourselves, really caught up with energy that is not divine, their lifestyle will not feel very good to them. They will be feeling like they're drained of energy. And drained of energy, they might well be. They can become versed in how to approach the higher light, and thus the light cell energy frequency body of light can therefore be increased. But they have to want to be there. There has to be a higher guidance somewhere along the line to help them to see that higher vibrational energy. So if we're fitting in to a certain sequence of light cell energy frequency body of light thinking, then we can determine or even predetermine which angular cell of light we're going to appear in next. All of our frequencies of lines of time are here for us to generate new higher thought waves, new wisdom, new engagements in the light. And if we really want to download these energies, we have to shift into the higher light. So this higher light cell energy frequency body of light that is now circulating around the planet, it's a fifth dimensional conscious awareness in the light. So we're getting these downloads. It's like osmosis. It's just filtering, it's trickling down into our light cell energy frequency bodies of light that encapsulate our own auric light. Okay. So these are the light cells that are beyond our own significance of light. These are the ones that encapsulate the higher light. These are the ones that have the higher codes of light. These are the ones that dynamically change our circumstances in the light. And if we can hold that field, that resonance of light within our light cell energy frequency body of light, then we have downloaded the higher codes that we need to flip our switch in the brain and turn on, light up, come online, however you would like to refer to it as. These higher energy beings of light are off-world at the moment. Some are within our planetary sphere. Others are generating less fear out of here. So in other words, they're draining the circumference of the planet, the energy field, from all fear and anxiety in their templates of time. We have many, many energy beings of light, of higher light, here working with us in the now time, in the presence, in the future time, in the downlines of time, all across time, all across the time waves of time. And they come here to give us sustenance of light. They come here so that we can learn how to engage with their higher frequencies of light. So it's like they give us a little boost. The other day I had to help out someone. Truck wouldn't start. They were going to call somebody to come and help them. That would have taken a long time. They had to come from another city. So I said, you know what? I know I've got a little itsy bitsy car here, but go ahead and try it and see if it'll work. So the person put the jumper cables on, and about 10 minutes later, my car was able to boost his big truck and get him back on the road again. So that was a good example or experience for me to see, and thus explain to you, to see how we can jumpstart each other's electricity, our electrical field of light. We have an electromagnetic shield around us. You would call that your auric shield or your auric light, or this is your aura. I think most people have heard that term and can understand it. Now, within that body of light, there are other frequencies of light that sustain life here on the planet. Many light cell energy frequency bodies of light are within our own frequency of light. Then there are other expansive ones far beyond that. And we're enfolded in that. So it's like measuring cups, and you stack them all inside the quarter, the half, a 3/4 cup, 1 cup, and so on and so on. They're all within the same space of light. So when we're dealing with frequencies of light, with energy frequency bodies of light, they're all encapsulated with one auric light. So we can deal with these lights if we understand the process and the function behind these higher lights. So when you want to turn on your energy shield very bright, you can come back to the light. Even if you've dropped into this planet in your incarnation time period at a very low encapsulation in your frequency body of light, you can raise that. You can steam clean your own genes, as I hear it. I've worked for many years, about 15 years now, doing energy healing with people, like in person, with them on the massage table. And I've heard since, I think it was about 2010 or 2011, about how we're now going in steam cleaning people's genes. And there was a blue-green light that came in. So you might want to call it, I don't know, turquoise perhaps. And I always thought that was rather humorous. But in essence, that's what is going on. That is the practice of light. We lift each other's light up. We refractor it into higher shades of light. So people who have a lower frequency and they want to feel better, to look better, to act better, behave better, whatever better. They want to improve themselves. They start first with this refractoring ability, and they understand that to lift their light, they must put certain practices into effect. And they calm themselves first. So this is where the meditative practice comes in, because we shield each other's light when we are engaging in higher aspects of light. The meditative practice puts you into a rest and digest state of being. There's a oneness that comes from this. There is a happiness that is generated in the cells of the body, in the light cell energy frequency body of light. It's not just the physical, okay? It's not just the physical, not just the heart, not just the mind. There's a far wider reaching effect. It's an expansiveness training in the light. It gets you to understand what frequency your higher light is resonating at or with or to. And it starts to embody the higher self in you, the higher cell light. And when you can turn that switch on to go into hyperdrive, you are in a magnificent plane of thought. It's glorious and it feels fantastic. So that is the first stage. When you implement the meditative plan, once you've gained some sort of footing in that, I'm going to say, the root chakra alignments start to clear. So if you were in, let's say, heavy debt, or you were in heavy misalignment with your cultural heritage, or anything to do with the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine. For those who are not familiar with this terminology, it has to do with home and your financial structure, all kinds of things in that genre to do with our physical place in life. We can start working with that physical aspect first. That brings us into the higher light. That wakes up the light cell energy body frequency of light. It's like it's been in a dormant stage when we've been in the lesser light, when we haven't been talking with it, in other words. And you know, when you stop communication with a friend or a family member or somebody, that it's like they don't exist anymore, but they actually do. It's just that the two of you are not communicating. So all of a sudden, when you go into this meditative state, the light switch, the energy body, the cell of light, comes on and goes, whoa, you woke me up. Are you there now? So we can communicate. And there is this frequency of light that goes out. In the light cell expansiveness of spirit light. And it charges your higher insight. So just like my little car charged that truck, there was this electrical field. There was this resonance change in the field of light. And all sorts of doors open up in the brain, in the brainstem. There's a chemical reaction. And at first it feels foreign to you. And the root chakra doesn't like anything foreign. It wants home, wants family. It wants everything to do with the physical planet and your physicalness. Anything that's physical, that's what it wants. It's home, it's secure, it's stable. I'm familiar with this. All of a sudden, you've got a communication going on. It's a telepathic communication in the light. And your higher self body is knocking on the door saying, okay, I hear you. Are you home? Let's talk. Your root chakra is kind of going, well, this is a foreign body. I don't recognize this chemical reaction. I don't recognize these fields of light around me. I'm not so sure if I want to open up and talk with this other being of light, because that's how it's refracted in the light. That's how the physicalness reacts at first in fear. They want to negate it. They want to drown that sound out. And so they send little fear signals along the electrical pulses in the brain and the brainstem. And in the third eye, it reacts with, well, whoa, you called me first. Are you now going to hang up on me? It's like you call your friend you hadn't talked to in 10 years, 30 years, whatever, and you go, hi, how are you? And then all of a sudden you get scared for some reason and you hang up. And the other person's going like, what's going on here? I thought you wanted to talk. I thought you wanted to reconnect. I was really looking forward to it. And now you've disconnected again from me. So we're in a disconnected state. The higher body, the higher light cell energy frequency body of light can't cope with that because it wants to come online with you. It wants to light you up. It wants to get you to the higher frequencies of light. Again, where you came in from when you incarnated on this planet. So then you have to be brave and you have to go back and try it again. So this is why meditation doesn't always work the first time. It takes practice. Ever try playing the piano and play a piece by Mozart or Beethoven, and you've had one lesson at the piano? It's not going to happen. You're not going to sit down on your first lesson with your piano teacher and probably do anything better than chopsticks, if you can even handle that. So it takes time in the physical, in our third dimensional frequency here on the planet. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes motivation, because you can have a number of false starts and you can scare yourself. But you have to keep going because there's nothing to be afraid of except the fear itself. It's the fear of the unknown. What am I doing here? I don't know. This seems a little too complex for my understanding. And actually, it is. Because we need that connection to the higher spirit light, the higher light cell energy frequency body of light, to make any sense out of any of this here. So when the fifth dimensional frequencies of light come onto the planet, which they have now, we're generating thoughts that are of a higher essence. People who are already plugged into this, or who came in on the planet with that higher frequency of light cell energy body, already get it. They've already downloaded it. We're in the new session of light. Okay, it's like our computer got a brand new program and we've already taught ourselves how to use it. And we've deleted the old one because it's just old. It's out of date. It wasn't as good as this one. So now we're back generating higher thoughts of wisdom, of experience, of understanding, of even, you could call them, coping mechanisms. And our heart chakra is now getting lit up in the light, because all that energy from the root chakra up through the sacral, right through to the solar plexus and beyond, we get to the truth of the matter when the seed of thought reaches the heart chakra of light. And from there, the divinity light lights up, because there's the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And all of a sudden, all the chakras are reawakening. Remember, we had them online in the first place. We came in, we dropped down, we lost some of that information in the encoding of the light, because we darkened our light, we dampened, we put a little dampener on that, so we couldn't shine as bright. It's like going out to your car and putting a cheesecloth or a cloth over our front lights. You drive that at night and you can't see very well. You don't know where you're going. You could take the wrong path. You could end up in places that are not very safe. And this is what we've done with our third eye, with our mind's eye, our higher mind. We've blinded ourselves in a way by being in this third dimensional frequency of light. But now we've come to the truth of the matter. We've lightened ourselves back up. Our light cell energy frequency body of light is demanding now to have more light. It's like it's asking, like, I want you to come back and have that conversation. So it's like your friend. You call your friend, you hang up, and then you try it again. You go, oh yeah, sorry about that. Whatever. I had second thoughts, but no, I'd really like to connect with you again. And so that person on the other end of the phone is going, well, yes, I'd really like to have a connection with you. Don't hang up on me again, okay? I didn't like that. And you go, oh, okay. Sorry about that. So the higher light cell energy body frequency of light is saying, like, I want us to be back whole. I want us to be back as one singularity, as one light of the sun. I don't want to be separate anymore. Okay, let's do this. Let's gain ground. Let's come to the higher exposure in the light. Let's activate our light cell energy body frequency of light, the memory codes in there. Let's activate that. And then you will come into realignment with who you are and why you are here and how your energy systems all work together. And you're kind of going, wow, this is exciting. I never knew this before. And the light cell energy frequency body of light transmits knowledge telepathically to all the body systems and says, actually, we did all used to be all together and we did actually know. We've just kind of been disconnected for a little time, and now it's time to come back. Let's do this. And you get even more excited and say, yeah, bring me more light. How do I do this? I don't remember. Help me to remember. Light cell energy body frequency of light gets all these transmissions and the codes of light as you're sending out your thoughts. Okay, you're seeding your thoughts. Your thoughts are creating this scenario. And all of a sudden, more light codes snap on. The memory cells in the body come to light. In other words, they come online. You can see them, you can read them, you can hear them, you can understand them. You know these codes of light are magnificent. And you know their frequency of light is going to get you from here to there. In other words, your transcendence, your ascension process. And it's already kicking in at that point. And you've got this. So unless you make the decision and seed your thoughts and your light cell energy codes to backtrack again, then you're okay. Just don't backtrack. If you do, you'll lose it all over again. Okay? So every time you make a decision, every time you raise your frequency light, it changes its essence. Okay? There's a broad bandwidth of light, and its frequency is in alignment with those of the higher light. When you drop off that bandwidth, you're lost again. Okay. So there's a maintenance program that shifts into reality. So it's like the guy with the truck the other day. When he left, he said, I think I'm just going to go out and buy a new battery. And I said, I think that's a really good thing, because I was tuning in and getting it was his battery. So he had to maintain his truck to operate correctly to get him from point A to point B in his work every day. So he decided he was going to now work at maintaining his truck to the level that it needed to be to operate properly for him, because it helped him. So once we make that decision in the light that we're going to meditate every day, we're going to uplift our thoughts in every way possible, see the positive in everyone, give everybody the benefit of the doubt, love themselves more, be happier more often and for longer periods of time. All those wonderful high ways of being, all of those systems of light will click on even more. So you're feeding the light. It's like you have a little baby plant. I have a plant behind me here. It's like I feed it. When it gets a little droopy, it needs more water. I make sure it has enough light from the window over there, and that it prospers and it feels good and it's happy. And it grows as a result. It flourishes in the light. And that's the way we approach our higher light. We feed it. We feed it higher thoughts. We feed it more light, in other words, because our thoughts generate more light. Our thoughts are our connective tissue to the light. It creates or it doesn't create higher visions of light. So then we're guided to start following our course of light here. What did we come in to do? We had a special mission. We wanted to see through right to the end and complete it. We see higher vibrations of light. We see the higher encodings in the light. And then we go through that door and we turn that key, we unlock it, and we remember more. We remember what our purpose was for coming here. In other words, what our little job was that we wanted to do. You know, you wake up in the morning, let's say it's springtime. It's like, oh, the sun is shining through the windows. I think I'll start the spring cleaning in my home here. So you had a little plan. And you know how good you feel when you complete that plan. You know how you're kind of kicking yourself for not getting it done if you don't. If you slack off and you go out and you do other things instead of keeping the focus on that little job you gave yourself that day, you're not feeling as happy. So we feel really good about ourselves when we complete our mission here. And when we pass out of this or pass over this particular frequency of light into a higher light and the body drops off, then we're knowing that we've encoded our light as high as we could possibly go in this dimension. The higher frequencies of light understand what we're going through and know, because they set us up here in the first place. We had to have a backup system, in other words. You don't have a computer with all your work. Let's say you work from home and you use your computer. You don't have that without a backup system. You have a backup plan. Even people who have big computers, they have a disaster recovery plan that they have with their computer company. They're tech people, in other words. So we have a backup plan in the light. Our backup plan is our higher frequency of light. They're the higher dimensional codes. And we've got them. We've got them. They're downloaded in our brain, in the cerebral cortex. That's where they're held. They can be lifted if we so desire. They can be restored in the light. And then we can come online in even a higher frequency of light. And that's where the light cell energy frequency body of light envelops all the codes and works with them and gives us all the details we could possibly want. Once that happens, and that's triggered in the memory codes in the mind, then everybody comes online in the collective thought sequence here on the planet and beyond. Everybody can tap in to that thought sequence of light. The healing that produces is immense and intense. And it takes care of all of the little discrepancies or problems or issues that we had in the past, in our past downlines of time. And it resurrects the truth of the higher divine mind. It's an energy system that is divine. It's been worked out over time. It has been used over and over again for many a time. It's been used on other planets. It's been used in other systems of light. And this is a plan that works. It generates higher insight. So when you come to the light, as you hear people saying, it's to restore that divination process. And it's a recovery system in the light. It recovers our genetic, I'm hearing it as proposition in the light. So it proposes a new way of being. It generates a new system of light here on the planet. in whichever planet actually that you're working with. This new regeneration in spirit light creates or causes a wonderful change in everybody's behavior. Everybody loves being in the higher frequencies. They feel good. They treat each other well. Any of the old issues and problems of past timelines are undone because people can now see them. They go back to the past and they go, oh, that's kind of where we fell down in our tracks. Now we've learned from that. We can lift ourselves up and move on. So all of this recovery system is what we've been going through in this generation of thought, because everything is thought wave. Once we have totally satisfied our curiosity and our complacency is healed, then we go on to further and further higher tracks of light. And once we engage in these higher frequencies, we truly come on board with our oneness of light, with our one spirit consciousness of light. And we're aware of all other beings in outer realms, just as we are of everyone on the planet. So there's an abundance of light. There is an exponential growth of light here on the planet, as well as other planets as well, because they all learn from what we do here. This has been a generational teaching line of time. It's been here to teach us how to be divine, how to step out of that old timeline. It's like a decrepit old line, and rebirth yourself, ourselves, onto our divinity line of time. It's a reprocessing of the higher genetic divine mind. We're all a species of thought. Everywhere we go, we will be delineating specifically our thoughts in the light, and they will be brought back. We will see the old thoughts interlaid with the newer thoughts and the future divine, their divine light of thoughts. So all of these different thought processes are brought together on one divine line of time, and then they are reprocessed in the higher mind. We understand the higher mind. We recall everything that was less divine, and we regurgitate the higher mind. So it's a transcendent time. And we all learn from everything that we've been exposed to on all the lines of time, forever moving outward and forward in the light. So our divine light cell energy frequency body of light is now re-encapsulated in the higher light. And it's a divine force of light. It's a genetic proposition or proposal in the light. We come from higher light, we descend, and we rotate back out again. And that is our spiral. When you see a spiral, you see the spiral. That's what we do. We come in, we descend, and then it actually goes up again. We come in, we drop our light, we cloak it, cover it up, however you want to call it. Veil it. Some people use that word veil. And then up we go again into the higher light. So we never lose ourselves. We're never lost. Not in frequency body of light. Not the energy cell. The light cell energy frequency body of light is never lost. Ever. It can't be lost. It's part of the light. So it knows exactly what to do. And when it brings you in here and into a lower level of being, or a more abominable state of being, as some would call it, it understands the refreshing process to bring it back into higher light. So there's never a day, there's never a time when it does not process its own light. Okay? It's an impossibility in the energy frequency lines of time. Okay? It is perfection, right? It's a perfection line. It's a perfection divinity line. It knows exactly what to do in the process of time as well as out of time, whereas the lesser lines of time only work within the divinity codes of the lower lines of time. Our higher lines work outside of time in the higher divinity codes. There's a different processing and reprocessing going on within time as well as outside when you step outside of time. There are different delineations, different timelines, different webs of line. Okay, there's differences. They differentiate. So all of these frequencies come online when the divine line of time is lit up within the cortex and brain, within the light cell energy frequency body of light here on the planet, as well as off. And we all generate new higher bandwidths of thought to bring us into these higher encapsulations in our divinity lines of time. So this is our expression of our energy within this sign of time. And this is the now time, the now moment in time, when we can divulge the truth to you, when we can delineate which line of time is of a higher divine mind and which ones are of a lower consequence of time. So, thank you very much for tuning in to our talk on the energy frequency body of light today. And blessings always. And take care of yourselves and others. And we will speak with you later in the third instructional video of the frequency body of light, the light cell energy frequency body of light. That is yours to command. Right. Blessings always. Bye for now.